Let's learn how to answer a question like this. We want to find the value of r. So I need to get r equals something by itself. In order to do that, we must get rid of anything next to the r like we learned before. Now, next to the r right here, I have times 5. Times 5 goes to the other side of the equal sign as divided by 5 because we have to reverse the sign, and the opposite of multiplication is division. So we can rewrite this as r equals 15 divided by 5. What is 15 divided by 5? It is 3. So r equals 3. Now, let's do another one that looks slightly different. Look here. What if I told you 5r equals 15? What does this mean? It means 5 times r equals 15. That's the same as saying r times 5 equals 15. It doesn't make a difference. 5 times r is the same as r times 5. So the concept is the same. We still want to get rid of this 5. But in order to get rid of this 5, we have to move it to the other side of the equal sign. But right here, there is no sign before the 5 because 5 came before the letter, before the variable. So we must also divide. It's the same thing, just like the example before. Because 5r means 5 times r, which means r times 5. So the 5 is multiplied on the left right here. To go to the other side, we have to do the opposite, which is division. So we can rewrite this as r equals 15 divided by 5. r equals 3. So it's exactly the same as the one above. The only difference is before I told you r times 5 equals 15. This time I told you 5r equals 15. Now let's do another one that's more difficult that involves fractions. Take a look here. What if I say q times 3 over 2 equals 1 over 4? Remember, I want to get q equals something. So I need to get rid of the times 3 over 2 right here. Times 3 over 2 goes to the other side of the equal sign as divided by 3 over 2. I can now rewrite this equation as q equals 1 over 4 as it is, divided by 3 over 2. Now remember, how do we do division when we have fractions? Here's how we do it. Q equals, keep the first fraction as it is, 1 over 4. Change the division sign into a multiplication sign. Then flip the numerator and denominator of the second fraction. So instead of 3 over 2, it's 2 over 3. This is called the reciprocal. 2 over 3 is the reciprocal of 3 over 2. Okay? This is how we do division with fractions. Q equals 1 over 4 times 2 over 3, which means that Q equals 1 times 2 is 2, multiply the numerators, over 4 times 3 is 12, multiply the denominators. Q equals 2 over 12. You can simplify this further, making Q equal 1 over 6. So Q equals 1 over 6. Now, let's do the same question, but instead of Q times 3 over 2, I will call it 3 over 2 Q equals 1 over 4. Now, remember like we did before, 3 over 2q means 3 over 2 times q. And any number times q is the same thing as q times the number. Just like we did a little while ago. Look here, let's remember together. We said that r times 5 is the same as 5r. So right here, when I say 3 over 2q, that means q times 3 over 2. So we need to get rid of the 3 over 2. But there is no sign before it. Remember, it's the same thing as saying q times 3 over 2. So 3 over 2 is multiplied on the left. When it goes to the right side, we change the multiplication into division. So instead of 3 over 2 times q, q times 3 over 2, same thing, we move it to the other side as divided by 3 over 2. Now we have q equals 1 over 4 divided by 3 over 2. Remember, how do we divide fractions? First one, change the division to multiplication, flip the second one. Here's your answer. 1 times 2, I multiply the numerators, over 4 times 3, multiply the denominators, so it's 2 over 12. You can simplify that further to 1 over 6, just like the one we did before.